So here we go with the Barn Brackley. Dundee side come and Varia whistling and flinging, and he was at Brackley's yet ere the day was a dawn, crying Baron o' Brackley, how are ye within? There are ships swords in by your gate that will gar your blood spin. Oh, rise up, my baron, and turn back your kye. The lads frae them warren are driving them by. How can I rise up and turn them again? For war I man, I'm sure he'll hae 10. Oh, gin I had a husband as a what I hae name, he wouldna lie in his bed and watch his kiting. Then up spake the Baron, said, "Give me my gun, and I will gan out, though I'll never win hame." When Brackley was bosket and rade o'er the close, a gallanter baron ne'er let tae a horse. "Come kiss me, my Peggy, ne'er think me to blame, and I will gan out, though I'll never win hame." There come wi' Foss and Varai 33, there was nane wi' bonny Brackley, just his brother and he. 'Twa gallanter Gordons that never saw draw, but against 33 wi' his me what is twa. Wi' swords and wi' daggers they did him surround, and they've pierced bonny Brackley wi' many a wound. Through the heed o' the Dee to the banks o' the Spey, the Gordons will mourn him and hang in Varai. Now come ye by Brackley's yet, and were ye in there? Did ye spy his ain Peggy arriving her hair? I come by Brackley's yet, and I was in there, when I saw his ain Peggy, she was making good cheer. She was laughing and ranting and singing for joy, and vowed on that very night she would feast and vary. She's laughed wi' him, drank wi' him, welcomed him ben, and she's kept him till morning, wha had slain her good man. Now there's grief in the kitchen, and there's mirth in the hall, for the Baron o' Brackley that's deed on the wall. Then up spake his young son frae his nurse's knee, "Gin I live to be a man, then revenge I will hae." So this is what happens when your wife doubles your insurance policy, I think. Anyway, talking about weddings, the next one's about a wedding, sorry. And it's got a chorus. I'll tell you the chorus, and I hope you join in with me. I'll tell you the chorus first. The chorus is, "And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and my mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels of a train, if ever I gang to Aladdin again." The word in the lack of my crawl. It's of a wild spree I'm going to prattle. Yen nicked fell in with some curious cattle. To tell you the truth, it was mere like a battle. The nick to the wadden o' Lackey McCraw. And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels of a train, if ever I take a wadden again. There was miners and jiners and journeymen bakers, a Hieland saloon and a parcel of Quakers. The look in their faces near gave us the shakers. The neck to the wadden o' Lackey McCraw. And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and my mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels of a train, if ever I can take a wadden again. There was plenty to eat, we got frostbitten liver, as sure as I'm here and as sure as you're never. The look of the meat would have gave ye a fever, the neck to the wadden o' Lackey McCraw. And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and my mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels of a train, if ever I can take a wadden again. The next to come in was a cartload of peelings, and a big Irish stew that was made in the Hielands. The look of the meat would have hurted your feelings. The neck to the wadden o' Lackey McCraw. And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and my mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels of a train, if ever I can take a wadden again. And out in the corner sat Donald McGinty, with several old fellas he kicked up a shinty. He lifted a poker and killed about 20, the neck to the wadden o' Lackey McCraw. And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and my mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels of a train, if ever I can take a wadden again. He worked himself into a terrible passion, hacking, flaying, gouging and fashion. Now some of their faces will never need washing, since the neck to the wadden o' Lackey McCraw. And oh, but it was a terrible affair. Me, myself, and my mother was there. And may I get mixed up in the wheels o' a train, if ever I can take a wadden again. This next one is a song I learned recently, but I heard it years ago. So she used to be a friend of mine, but for some reason she totally blanked me, and I don't know why, but I learned it for this woman, whose name shall remain nameless. Anyway, here we go. It's called Butter on the Bowl. When I first played a tune on my father's violin, we a dee a do a die a diddle I don't know. All my folk were away on a summer Sabbath day, and I scraped on his fiddle with the old man's bow. But the fiddle to my chin gave a twiddle to the strings. We are mine to keep the sorrow, so I thought to try a hymn. But I got an awful squeak, no I do a do a diddle, when I scraped on his fiddle with the old man's bow. Now the wee ginger cat stuck it underneath the mat. We a dee a do a die a diddle I dum do. And the duck raised his jowl and gave such an awful howl. He ground to all the screaming o' the old man's bow. Though I tried to tag my tempo for a wag upon the wall, my sankey sounded awful like the turkey in the straw. So I tried another key, but the screek was worse than ever when I screamed Tony's fiddle with the old man's bow. Now I ken right weel how to cure a squeaking wheel. We a dee a do a die a diddle I don't know. And I'm thinking, says I, there's something half a dry. A dude will need to lubricate the old man's bow. Though I hunted in the glory hole, it's in a blaw of a stair. In the box I hint the tractor, but there was nae ony there. I looked around the house, but the ale had all gone missing. So I picked a bit of butter on the old man's bow. At the fiddle to my chin, gave a twiddle to the strings. We a dee a do a die a diddle I don't know. But alas for my scheme, you could have heard the dropping beam, for there wasn't even a whisper frae the old man's bow. Though I work it at the fiddle like a giner with a saw, till the claps o' Orkney butter fairly stutted off the wall. But I never got a dee or a do a dow a diddle when I scraped Tony's fiddle with the old man's bow. When the kirk folk come in, I smarted for my sin. We a dee a do a die a diddle I don't go. And he played me such a tune that I couldn't sit me down, but was minded o' the butter on the old man's bow. Now I'm finished with the fiddle, and there's no the slightest doubt. If I'm gonna learn an instrument, it'll have to be the flute. For when hunkin' folk come by and they make the introductions, I'm the boy that put the butter on the old man's bow. Anyway, this next one is one that I wrote myself a while ago. You'll ken the tune, but it's about the curse of Leylandii hedges, which there's no laughing matter, I'll tell you. There's no laughing matter. It's called Leylandii. A hedge baith tall and bold, it casts a shadow long and cold, planted by the mad and mean, nae shaft of light can pierce its green. Within our rights we hear them shout, we'll keep those nosy buggers out, but way too big and far too high, a curse on their Leylandii. Once my home was filled with light, but now at noon it's dark as night. Where once I had a lovely view, the prospect's no sae bonny noo. The roots have cracked the water mains, they've fractured each and every drain. A river runs where once was dry, all thanks to their Leylandii. So dull and dreary now this place, its woes and ills I canna face. No stopping since it begun, I gaze and hope, but see no sun. I'll take my axe and power saw, you'll see the tall and mighty fall. A row of logs stacked 3 foot high, where once there stood Leyland AI.
The morning